Sling Studio, the first affordable live streaming multi-camera platform. Share directly to Facebook, YouTube, or any RTMP destination.
There we go. Didn't have any audio at first. Now you guys should be able to hear me. I tell you, man, sometimes when you're dealing with the mics and things like that, they don't always work. I had to unplug it and plug it back in, but I caught it in time this time, so you guys didn't have to wait for too long. Let me make sure everybody is in here. So shout outs to everybody who's here. I see you guys are arguing with a Raiders fan, Gabe Wood Bradham. Listen, man, you're welcome to listen in. If you're a fan of mine, I appreciate it. But this is a Steelers podcast, so we don't need any of that talk. Oh, I'm this, I'm that. And I'm not saying you're doing that, but if you're going to be promoting the Raiders or whatever, expect the guys in here to rip you a new one. That's just how they're going to do. I have no control over my fellow Steelers fans. But this is a strictly Steelers podcast. Again, I appreciate you coming by. No hard feelings if you are a Raiders fan. But, if you're talking smack, they're going to jump all on top of you. And at the same time, guys, let's be, receptive. If he's just in here watching, let it be, okay? But anyway, guys, what up, man? Happy to get back to another episode of the Terrible Towel Tuesday podcast here. We're basically going to talk a little bit, man, about the last game, just a little bit. We did that on Sunday afternoon. We kind of talked about it. I had to speed through that one. This one I plan to be a little bit longer, not too long. Your boy went to the gym tonight, guys. So again, sacrificing for you guys that haven't eaten dinner yet. So I don't know how long we'll stretch this one out. But yeah, it is what it is. But also, let me let you guys know in advance, if you want to come on, if you want to speak tonight, I know a couple guys reached out to me in the last episode. I will bring you on via Skype. I'm going to cut Skype on right now. Basically, I need you to have a Skype name. You can shoot me a request to SimFBallCritic. It's the same exact name here as the YouTube channel. And yeah, there you have it. I'll be happy to have you guys come on and speak your piece, etc., etc. All right, so let's go ahead and get started, guys. I'm just looking at my Skype here to see if anyone sent a message. I don't think so, but we'll get that cracking here in just a moment. So let's get to it, man. Let's talk a little bit of Steelers football, guys. Couple things to talk about and a couple things to give you guys a heads up on. You're probably hearing background noise. My wife is right above me. She's in the kitchen cooking, but she's also on the phone, on FaceTime, with her cousin. Can't control that. And my son is upstairs, you know, my 5-year-old has found a love for Michael Jackson. So you may hear him watching the TV and replicating his moves. So just preparing you guys for that type of stuff. But it is what it is. I don't think you guys care, but you know, it's my, you know, it's my business to let you guys, you know, at least make you aware of it. All right, now to the Steelers news. Let's talk Le'Veon Bell really quick. We're going to be real quick with that. He didn't show up this week. You know, maybe I don't expect him to show up until the veterans show up. I know there was a mini practice today. There's a mini practice tomorrow. And if I'm not mistaken, the Steelers will be off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Or it might be, it might actually be Thursday. I think they're going to practice today and practice tomorrow. Then I think they're off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They report back on Monday. It is my belief that I thought Le'Veon Bell would come in as soon as possible, you know, since the hints, you know, the hints were that he was going to come in during the bye week. To me, it made a lot of sense to come in early. You're going to get the extra day of practice on Monday due to the bye next Monday. But I thought he would come in and take care of business this week, at least get everything, you know, cross the, you know, the T's, dot the I's, etc., etc. But let me explain to you guys why I don't think he will show up, even though it was rumored that he would, even though he talked, you know, a couple weeks ago saying he see what the problem is. He's going to get back, get back in there and try to help out. Let me tell you why that might not happen, okay? Number one, the Steelers are now engaging in trade talks, right? They're engaging in trade talks. I don't think Le'Veon Bell wants to be traded at this point. I think if he's going to play the remainder of the season, he wants to play as a Pittsburgh Steeler. I don't think he wants to go play for a team that might not have an opportunity to win. Not saying that the Steelers is that team, but follow what I'm saying here. I have a feeling that Le'Veon Bell would rather not be traded in this situation because it's the same problem again. I mean, it's virtually the same thing whether he stays with us or not. At the end of the season, he has to negotiate with somebody to make a deal. I don't know if there's a team that's going to take that trade. What team will do it? You know, what team would really do it and give us what Colbert has been asking for? Colbert said he's not going to take less than a second-round pick and a good player, okay? A couple names have been thrown out there. I know I've heard, you know, that they're rumored that Patrick Peterson will be on the trade block. Let me clear that air really quick, guys, because I know as fans we jump to a lot of conclusions and, you know, we think with our hearts and not always with our head. Do you guys know how much it's going to take to get a Patrick Peterson? We're going to have to give up something, even if it's not Le'Veon Bell. We're going to have to give up a first or second round pick, in my opinion. I don't think you give up a first or second round pick at this point for Patrick Peterson. No disrespect to him. I think he's great. I would love to have him in Pittsburgh if we can make it work. But what are we willing to give for him? You know, are the Cardinals going to trade for Le'Veon Bell? I don't know. I just don't know if any team is going to take that on because, again, let's not forget, Le'Veon Bell, before anything can happen, he has to sign the franchise tender, and he's going to get the remainder of that because let's not forget he's foregone $855,000 for all the way up until now this past week, week 6. So he'll get the remainder of that, and then there's no guarantee to re-sign. I don't see a team doing it. Now, if they do it, great. If Colbert can work his magic, phenomenal. I just don't see it happening. I don't necessarily see the Cardinals jumping out on the limb to do that when they're probably in a position where they're not going to win this year. So you then would look at it, and I kind of have to contradict my own point. Maybe a team that is in position to win would trade for Le'Veon Bell because why would a team do it this year that it has no chance? So then again, let's take a look at some of the teams that could possibly continue to win. Packers, maybe. Packers could probably use a better running game. You know, Aaron Rodgers and Le'Veon Bell, that would be great. But I don't know who else. Who else would do it? Maybe the Eagles. You know, maybe the Eagles would take that chance. They're still in contention for the division, of course. Perhaps. But outside of that, I just don't see a lot of teams jumping down that road for this year with no guarantee for next year. So again, speaking on the Patrick Peterson thing, if they can make it work, great. I don't know what it's going to take to get him. It's not going to be cheap. So if we're hoping that the Steelers can go out there and trade for him, you guys are asking for a whole lot. Let's see. What other news do we have to say before we get into some All-22? Because I really want this particular show to be about you guys since we were really fast on Sunday. I think that's about it, man. No significant injuries that have been reported from the game. I'm hoping at this juncture, and let's talk about that. Let's talk about the state of the Steelers real quick, and then we'll look at some of these plays. Current state of our Pittsburgh Steelers, and just before I get into that, I got to give a round of applause to Jesse Williams here. Definitely appreciate your donation, man. I appreciate that. Oh, another one. Another round of applause to my good brother Smooth. Love you guys for that, man. I really love you guys for that. And like I see, my father-in-law Leonard said the Eagles want Bell. You might be right, Leonard. That might be a landing spot for him. It'd be curious to see what they would give up for him. And, you know, if it happens, it happens. But that's the reason why, guys, I think Bell is not going to come in before the trade deadline. That's my gut feeling. I don't think he wants to be traded. Just my gut. But we'll see. We'll see. Current state of the Steelers, man. I don't know what team we have, guys, and y'all know, if you've been following me, I always say I usually know what our team is around week 6, 7. That's usually when I get a feel for what the team is. Here's how I feel right now. Offense is starting to peak a little bit. We are a team that can get to the playoffs with the bend but don't break mentality right now. I think our defense is in a position to improve. How much? I don't know. It kind of reminds me of the AFC Championship year against the New England Patriots a few years ago. Okay, we started turning things around a little bit, turning the corner late in the season. Things start picking up. Bud Dupree got back in the fold. Get to the playoffs and we get waxed. Okay? It doesn't remind me of last year, because last year we kind of the same trend. It's almost like I don't know if I still trust our team in the big game. I don't think we are a Super Bowl caliber team at the moment. I just don't. Again, coming out of the bye, guys, there's always an opportunity that the defense could get a lot better. I think the defense has shown us. Here's what's tricky. They've shown us against two powerful offenses that they can get some stops. They're going to give up some things, yes. Artie Burns is going to get caught out there from time to time. Terrell Edmonds, still a rookie, okay? He's going to get caught out there from time to time, I would assume. Joe Hayden has been playing good football. If he can stay healthy, I like what Joe Hayden is providing us. I love what Mike Hilton will be able to provide us if he can stay healthy. I would love to get Morgan Burnett back in the fold. Maybe that takes our defense up a notch. We could do a few more things on defense with 3 safeties on the field. There is potential. You know, T.J. Watt seems to continue to have that motor running. Bud Dupree, still kind of, You know, he only has that one move, the speed rush, which my good brother Kenyon Wright always reminds me. Yeah, I try to give Bud a little more credit than some of us do, but let's face it, Bud is really not, he's not a dependable guy at this point. And even potential, I don't see it happening. You know, at this point, all of the potential that we see in a Bud Dupree, it should be coming out by now. Everybody else is playing relatively decent. I know it seems like Stephon Tuitt and Cam Hayward and even Javon Hargrave have been quiet, but, you know, looking at the all-22 of this game, we're getting some push. You know, Hargrave gets a sack in the game. Tuitt gets a sack. You know, the big guys are doing their job for the most part. Bostic is playing relatively decent for the most part. Vince Williams played out of his mind in that game. We have a defense that, again, I'm going to preface it with this. I don't need these guys at this point to be a shutdown, lockdown defense. I don't think we're that yet. But if we could just have the defense that can make necessary stops, oh, man. Got to give a shout-outs to, and I know I'm going to mess your name up, so I'm going to just say the first name, Maher. I think that's how you pronounce it. Let's give you a round of applause. All love, man. I appreciate all of you guys, man. You, Smooth, and, you know, everybody else who donated so far. You guys have no idea how much I appreciate that. And he said hi from the Bronx. What up to the BX, man? It's funny, my wife and her family are actually from the Bronx, so you know I got a little bit of ties there. Her father obviously from the Bronx. Got a lot of ties there, man. So shout outs to the BX, and I appreciate you coming through. Yeah, I think right now, guys, we are a team that can win, but I don't have the confidence in them. On paper, you would think that the Steelers should be a better team than the New England Patriots, but let me tell you something. You watching New England, man, and I'm gonna tell you, watching them the other night against the Chiefs, they're vulnerable too defensively. We all know the Chiefs are vulnerable defensively, but let me tell you something, man. The Patriots, again, they seem to be able to make plays when they need to. I think that's going to keep the New England Patriots as a favorite. You know, once again, you know, I don't see any other AFC team that is much more of a threat. You know, again, the Chiefs can score, yes. Okay, Jacksonville, I don't know what's up with them right now. Okay, we don't know what our Steelers really are. We are kind of a can-win team. We're not a team that we know is going to win. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? We are one of those teams that if we put it together, they can win. We are the team that none of us really know which Steeler team is going to show up on the field, and that's a problem. So I can't put my confidence in them. And like I said, the Patriots, yes, they allow points as well, but they seem to be able to get stops when necessary, and that could carry them where they need to go. We got to keep an eye out for the Baltimore Ravens, guys. Listen, the Ravens look like the team out of our division that can make something happen. Cincinnati, we've seen this story before where Cincinnati starts off hot. We've seen that. One thing the Ravens have is defense, okay? The Baltimore Ravens defense is going to keep them in games. So we'll see. The division is up for grabs, but I don't have the confidence that we're going to win the division this year. And if we don't, it could be very sketchy as far as getting into the playoffs. But again, I'll wrap it up with this, and then we'll look at some all-22 film. I think we're in a position right now where it could be boom or bust. We go into the bye 3-2-1, right? Peaking. Defense is playing well. Played against two top five offenses. Held both of those under 25 points. That's a good job in today's NFL. Held the Falcons to 17 points. Outstanding job. Sometimes it was errant throws that helped us. But hey, some people can say that about the Steelers. Ben has missed some throws. There were some drops that helped us against Atlanta. Hey, well, there's a drop I'm going to show you tonight with Juju. But, you know, you can't throw all of that in there. You can't say, well, if this or what if this or what if that. It is what it is. We still held the teams to 17 points, and we held the Bengals to 21. There you have it. If we could keep that up with our offense, we have a chance. But I just don't know. I just don't know. But I think we're in a good position to, you know, work some kinks out, in the off week, get back on a roll coming out of the bye. And like I said, with the 3 divisional games, we need to go 2-1. We've won this one against the Bengals. We need to get Cleveland or Baltimore to have a shot at the division. If we lose those games, could get ugly. Could get ugly. So let's take a look at a little bit of all 22. And also, guys, let me see. Somebody's probably in the chat. Let's see who this is. Somebody just said, ready when you ready, plugged in. Not sure, I can't remember who plugged in is, but I'll give you a call, and I'll let you come on and speak for just a moment. Let's talk a little bit of all 22 really quick, and then I'll get you in. So a quick reminder, guys, if y'all want to say a quick piece, a quick 2 minutes or so, speak on the game, speak on the state of the Steelers, whatever it is you want to get off your chest, I'll be happy to bring you on tonight. It's via Skype. All I'm going to need you to do is send me a request. Let me know who you are so I know who it is. Bring you on, say your piece, and there you have it. You get to have your voice heard with everybody else here in the stream. All right, so let's take a look, guys. Let's see. The first thing we're going to look at, let me get her up here on screen. Give me a quick second. Boom. The all 22. So, like I said, guys, let's take a look at an incompletion. Okay, we're going to go first quarter. We're going to go Juju Smith-Schuster. We're going to take a look at a couple things here. Was it this one? I think it was this one. So let's take a look. See if I was correct. I think it was this one. Yeah, it's this one. Perfectly thrown ball, right? Now, a little bit of critique right here. Look at what ends up happening here, guys. This ends up being a, and I'm sorry, guys, I'm moving the cursor all around there. But this ends up being a man coverage, right? We put it in slow motion. I'm going to show you what's going to happen. We got bunch over here. And watch what happens here. Okay, off the line, you got man coverage everywhere. Man right here. You got, I believe that's a linebacker that might be perfect. That's over Jesse James. McDonald is on the outside, so you got an outside corner. You got another guy here, which is the safety. So this appears to be a cover one man, because you have one deep safety, which is Jesse Bates. Quick side story to that. Remember, guys, I was asking for Jesse Bates to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Well, let me tell you something. My wife's cousin, is his agent, right? And I was so hoping that Jesse Bates would land in Pittsburgh. Even me and him talked before the season. He said, man, we really thought Pittsburgh was going to pull the trigger. They met with him, had dinner with him. We went with Terrell Edmonds. But I was really looking forward to having this guy as a free safety. And how cool would that have been to have that connection with him? That would have been dope. Perhaps some tickets, I don't know. But anyway, let's take a look at this. All right, you get pretty much man everywhere. And you're going to get a double situation in here. And look at Burfict holding. But Ben makes his decision very early, right? Single high safety, of course. It's time to take a shot. But look at AB. AB actually will come open. You know, that's the matchup you probably want to go after. Now, I get it. We know Ben likes to take the deep shot. It's probably predetermined. And let's be fair to Ben. NFL quarterbacks, a lot of times when they see a matchup, they're going to take a shot. Then you have to make the perfect throw. Because the ironic thing here is Jesse Bates does what I always ask for free safeties to do, even when I'm playing Madden. For you guys that know me for gaming, the safeties don't do this in that game. He's cheating, right? He's going to cheat to the side where he feels the biggest threat is at. He's watching Ben's eyes, and look at this. His hips are already open to the right, which means he's going to get here. So this has to be a perfect throw. And it was. Ben drops it in the hole. Look, Jesse Bates tries to get there. And if for anybody who's ever played football, you know that nobody on the field is faster than the football. Perfect throw. No catch by Juju Smith-Schuster. But again, look at AB. If Ben has good time here, he has time in the pocket. If he holds it for just a second, you know, the ball is gone, obviously. But I think the better one-on-one matchup develops right here. As we look at it from this angle. All right, let's look at it again, right here. Again, Ben has already decided where he's going. Ball is already cocked, and you know, it's about to go out. But your better one-to-one matchup is right here. AB against Sean Williams. He's going to win that. But the ball is gone. But AB would have easily won that. But anyway, Ben drops that ball right in the hole. Beautiful pass. Juju was unable to make the catch. And when we looked at the TV angle, he just misjudged it and couldn't get it. So there you have it. Missed opportunity. All right, let's take a look at another play here, good people. I want to look at the first play to, let me find it here. It's probably the second possession. To James Conner. Let's see, was it this quarter? Oops, I'm not looking at scoring plays. Forgive me, guys. Forgive me. I'm all over the place here. Close that out. Go back here. And we want to look at... let me find it. Why are they not showing me all the plays? All plays. Let's go first quarter. Here we go. I want to look at, there's some plays here. I'm going to close this out, guys, because it's acting funky. All right, let me come back to it. I don't know why it's just showing me scoring plays here, and it shouldn't be doing that. I don't get it. I don't know what's happening, guys. Bear with me for a hot second. I don't know why it's doing this. This is crazy. I'm gonna sign out and come back into it. One second, guys. Told you when it's live, man. Anything goes when it's live, right? I don't know why it's doing this. I've never seen it just show me there we go. There we go. I don't know what was going on. It got stuck on certain plays. Alright, so let's find this James Conner play really quick. Where is it? It was here in the first quarter, if I'm not mistaken. So those are the first couple plays. Cincinnati gets it back, and I think it's on this drive here. Where is it? Nope. Might have been the second quarter. Let's go to second quarter. Yeah, because it was this side of the field. I know it was on this side of the field. There it is. There it was right there. My bad, guys. I hate the fact that you don't have the they don't give you like the ability to search. But I just saw the play right there. Hold on, guys. Bear with me, man. Is it this one? Here it is. All right. I want you to pay attention to Maurkice Pouncey. Not many centers in the league can do this, folks. Pay attention to Maurkice Pouncey. Check this out. This is a phenomenal play. Pouncey's pulling. And look at this block he's going to get to seal the deal. Bang. Look at all of this blocking. Look at this. Look at this. Everybody doing their thing. You got Grimble right here getting to the second level. Bam. You got Rosie Nix taking this guy out from the back end. There's nothing happening there. Grimble. And who is that? Is that Big Al or is that... Nah, that's the Castro. So we pulling the center and the guard. Crazy, right? And look at this block, man. Phenomenal. Phenomenal stuff. James Conner is off to the races. Beautiful stuff there. All right, so let's look at something else here, guys, that's going to piss you off. I'm giving y'all a heads up. It's going to piss you off. Let's look at your boy Artie Burns. This was the touchdown. Let's look at this in nice full screen. Let me show you this. Artie, poor Artie. Look at this, man. Let's look at this in instant replay. Super slow-mo. Now listen. Guys, listen, I'm not an NFL cornerback, but I do know sometimes you have to use boundaries, meaning the sideline, and also the goal line as your friend. Artie Burns needs to, reduce this space a little bit. Why are you backpedaling so far? Like, you are nowhere near him. You have to condense that space a little bit. Reason being is even if he runs a post, right? You should be able to get a little closer so you can kind of feel where he's going. You can't go this deep when, number one, they have been running out patterns the whole game, right? They scored on the out pattern the first time. They've been running them all game. You cannot give up this much ground. And once you backpedal, like you backpedaling 4 yards deep into your own end zone, and look at the little move that my man made. Boyd ain't even really have to do nothing. Look, he never even faked inside. It's a straight up out pattern. Artie, you have to play it better than that, man. I'm just saying. That's pitch and catch. That's too easy. Let's look at it once again. Look at all this ground he's giving up from the 15-yard line. Where he going? Where does he think Boyd is going to? That deep. Where does he think he's going? There is really no real vertical threat there, Artie. Like I said, he could run a skinny post, but you still want to close this space a little bit. Because let me show you something. If he runs a skinny post or a slant, he's still open. If he breaks it off in here, you still ain't going to get there in time. If Andy Dalton leads it. Technique, folks. Technique. That's why I said we can't always put everything on coaching. I'm just saying. Let's look at it from this view. And then that'll probably be it for the all 22 guys, because we've been talking for a long time already. Let me see where we at. Yeah, we at 31 minutes already. But look at it from this angle. I want you to see how much space was given up from this angle once the ball is thrown. Look, Artie is nowhere in sight. And again, Tyler Boyd is an NFL receiver. Andy Dalton is an NFL quarterback. But still, my man, you have to play this a little bit better. And I wouldn't pick on Artie Burns, man, if Artie Burns didn't consistently get burned. Consistently. So, there you have it. And let me see, guys, if is there one more play I wanted to show. I'm not sure if there's anything else I wanted to showcase. Let's see. Is there anything else worth looking at? Let's see. I don't know if there's anything else that's worthy of view. Oh, yeah, it is. Let's end this off with some physicality, shall we? Let's look at Vance McDonald, man. My man, Vance McDonald. Vance McDonald is a man out there. I'm starting to love this guy. Let's end it. Let's end the all 22 with that. Not too many negatives to talk about today, guys. So that's why I don't have a lot of footage to show. But let's look at this man child, man. Look at this. Beautiful stuff here. This is all effort by Vance McDonald. Burfict, get some. Get off me. You too. And I'm gonna take y'all for a ride. I'm loving this. I am loving this. Let's look at it from this angle, and we're gonna slow this thing down. And then I'm gonna bring some of you guys on, man. Let's look at Big Vance McDonald. Good coverage, pretty much, by the Bengals. And Ben, you know, keeping his eyes downfield. Finds Vance McDonald. Gets away from this guy who was perfect. Bam! Get some. And you know what? I'm just going to give you the shimmy. You get some. You don't really want it. Juju with good blocking here. You don't really want it. Jackson don't want it. Look how long it took Jackson to put his head in there. He ain't want it either. Vance McDonald is a man out there. But there you have it, guys. Yeah, Still Gunplay, right on time, man. I'm going to bring Still Gunplay on. I'm going to give him a call right now and let him give his little piece here. Like I said, man, we can kind of limit it to just a couple moments. And then I'll read some of you guys' comments, and then I can go eat some dinner. Y'all cool with that, right? All right, so let's put the headphones on. Let's get our caller in. Still Gunplay.
Hello?
What's going on?
Yo.
Yeah, what's up, brother?
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Alright, man. How you feeling, my man? How you doing?
Good this week, man. Much better than
right.
last, some few weeks ago.
Right. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, I made a big mistake this offseason. You know what I did, man?
What happened?
I had a decision to make, and
Uh-oh. He's gone. Let's call him back. Let's call him back, folks. You guys can hear him, right? Yeah, we lost you, man. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I didn't drop my phone. My bad. But I had a decision to make. I chose to either Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
I chose to either buy me a James Conner jersey or buy me an Artie Burns jersey. I chose Artie Burns.
Oh no.
I chose Artie Burns. After this game, I took the patch off. It was alright. I'm not dealing with Artie Burns no more. I took his name off. It's time for him to go. It's done. I lost all faith in him. He's not a Steeler in my eyes no more.
Yeah, man. Do you think can it be corrected at all? Do you think he has any potential left?
No, I think he lost all his confidence. He has the ability. He has the, he got the skill to do it. I think it's all mental. I think something happened and he lost it. He got the capability. He's athletic enough to do that, but it's just not flowing. And the thing is, our window is so small, we can't give him enough time. We can't give him even more time is what I'm saying. We can't give him another off season. Our window is closing real bad. It's time to move on. Not just him. Him, Butler, Tomlin. It's time to move on.
Tomlin. You want to fire Tomlin?
Yeah, it's time for Tomlin to go.
You know what? I'm interested in hearing it though, because I like hearing different opinions.
Right.
In your opinion, I'm gonna ask a two-part question. First and foremost, why would you want Tomlin fired? And the second, who do you think? Who's his replacement? Is the guy out there? Is he in college? Is anybody else gonna be have a better winning percentage?
Well, okay. Number one, you gotta think about why I want him gone. Because I think this team has saved him. It's just look at his record. What has he? I'm not trying to discredit him, but what has he done for us? It's this team. It's this team that's bailing him out. Let's look back at the division loss. We scored 42 points. Okay, those 42 points is just so inflated. That should have been a blowout. Those was just two deep passes to Antonio Brown, a deep pass to Le'Veon Bell. A deep pass to Martavius Bryant, and an incredible touchdown catch by Le'Veon Bell. That's it. What good scheme is that? That's just from the division loss. It's like our talent is just. They're the reason we're getting wins. That's not from the coaching. And the Super Bowl he did get, that's Bill's team. He just inherited. I'm not trying to say that. I'm not trying to discredit him from that because, he won a Super Bowl with the team. But he didn't draft that team. No, man. No. I think Tomlin lost control of this locker room. He really has. And to answer the second question, who's out there? Somebody, I can't give you a certain name, but somebody that can keep this locker room in check. And Ben can do the rest. Come on now. You mean to tell me why is there confusion? Look at let's go back at the Patriots game. Why is there confusion about taking a timeout or not to take a timeout? Why is that come on now?
Yeah, clock management has been, and I say that every week. Clock management with this regime, I don't know. I don't understand. I really don't.
Tomlin's a good coach. I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but I think we just holding him on too much because Tomlin is the black quarterback, and you know how the Steelers with the Rooney Rule, it doesn't look good if we fire him. So I think the Steelers, you know, of course, Steelers always keep their coaches for a long time, but still, like.
There you go. See, that's my only argument when I can't. You know what? I'll be honest in saying, and I'm glad you said that, because I always want to hear everybody's perspective. My only argument to the Tomlin being fired is a couple things. Has not had a losing season. Every other coach has that we've had. Even Bill Cowher. Bill Cowher only got 1 Super Bowl.
Right.
Also, the thing is, if they fire him, I think us Steelers fans, I think we're stuck on the fact that we haven't won another Super Bowl and not looking at the fact.
Thing.
But that's every team.
Exactly.
That's every team.
Yeah, you're right about that, but the standard is the standard. That's our motto in the Steelers. This isn't the Browns. This isn't the Raiders. This isn't nothing. We worry about Super Bowls. When we don't get to the Super Bowl, I don't care if I'm 9-7. If we get to the Super Bowl, fine. If we're 3-13 and get bounced out in the divisional round, I have a problem. I don't care if Tomlin never had a losing season. With this talent, you're not supposed to have a losing season.
So what? Let me ask you this: what's the problem? And then I'm gonna take the next call. What is the problem with? Well, no, two parts.
Okay.
If it's the players that's bailing him out, or should we not be blaming the players when we lose? Then using that logic.
Should we not blame the players when we lose? As far as the defense, that also goes on to that too. Once again, the players still need a blame for it. There's no reason why Ben scores 42 points and the offense scores 42 points and we lose to Blake Bortles' offense. No reason why that. So of course the players, but it also him, Colbert. They're not drafting right. You know, they're not drafting good defensive players in the draft, and I think their pride is too big to say, okay, fine, it didn't work out with Artie Burns. Let's move on. Fine, it didn't work out with Sean Davis. Let's move on. They just keep these guys rolling. You know, so yeah, I just don't think Tomlin is man enough to keep the train rolling for the whole season. It's like we're gonna live and die on Artie Burns. It shouldn't be like that, or Cody SimFBall, which is worse.
I feel you. I just, I have to agree to disagree. I can't agree. I can't say it's all Tomlin. I don't agree with everything.
Of course not. Of course, it's not all Tomlin, but Tomlin is the head coach.
Yeah, I ain't ready for him to be fired, man. I mean, only reason why, even objectively, if I'm not a Steelers fan, he hasn't done nothing. I mean, yeah, we haven't won a Super Bowl. We all want that, but he hasn't. His performance doesn't warrant a firing. So I just don't see it happening.
I guess my standard is the Super Bowl, man. I don't care about.
Oh, I feel you. Yes, sir.
I don't care about a divisional. I need to get to that, and Tomlin just can't get us over that hump.
I feel you, man. Well, definitely, I appreciate you calling, man. I'm gonna grab the next one here. Definitely appreciate that perspective, and like I said, guys, I love this type of back and forth. He's not wrong. I'm not wrong. I just would love to know everybody's perspective. That's why I asked, well, why do you feel that way? What is it specifically about Tomlin? I can't agree with everything that Gunplay said, but I do agree. We all probably agree. I don't know what's the deal with the clock management thing. I don't know. I will shoot Tomlin a little bit of bail on this one point. In the Patriots game last year, a lot of people were saying that Tomlin didn't have a play ready. But we all forget that audio that came out, video and audio, where he was telling Todd Haley, have a play ready. You hear me? Have a play ready. We all probably saw that. I can't put that solely on Tomlin when he told the man, listen, have a play ready to go. So, but I will agree, Tomlin makes in that regime, and he's the head man, they make some wild decisions when it comes to clock management. I don't understand what's happening there. But, yeah, we're going to take the next caller here. The next caller is, let me bring you up here. Multi-Cool Fresh. I'm about to give you a call right now. What's up? What's going on?
Yeah, everything's fine here. Greetings from Germany, first of all.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you. I mean, I know that the time difference is crazy, so the fact that you're even here just to speak, man, we all love you for that.
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, I'm on vacation, so I can't do this. But let's talk about the Steelers, I would say. And first of all, I would say, man, we got ourselves a receiving core. I mean, for real. Like, let's just look at Antonio Brown. I mean, in my opinion, one of the best receivers ever to play the wide receiver game. Then we have Juju Smith-Schuster, an incredible guy right now. He's in the top 5 guys of receiving right now, I think. Then we have James Washington. I mean, he isn't right now like starter, but he has so much potential. And then if you look at the tight end spot, we have Vance McDonald.
Oh man,
I mean,
the beast.
He definitely is. I mean, running over people, that's just crazy. I mean, yeah, they're like James Washington and I think Vance McDonald, they're a little bit raw right now, but like we can make them diamonds, I feel like. And when Big Ben steps up his game a little bit more, I think this offense can go places. Like for me, playoffs for sure, maybe even Super Bowl, because like if we look at the league right now, like there are the teams, it's like really hard to tell where someone will be in the later stages of the season. I mean, like, let's just look at, Baltimore lost to Cleveland, for example.
Yeah.
I mean, this league is so mixed, and I think that the Steelers have to like also look in the future. And I mean, we all know that they just draft pretty well, we could say, but like don't do it as much in the rest. Like they don't trade as much, and free agency is also not our strong point. And I think we have to get on this train. Like when we look, how many Super Bowls have Pittsburgh won after like 2010 and so on? Like the newer part of the football game, like we are a little bit asleep when we are looking at the managing. And I think we have to step up our game there, because like when we're having like Artie Burns, or I like to call him Artie Gets Burned, I mean, we can't replace him. Basically, our depth chart at the cornerback position isn't as deep as it should be, and I think if we like trade well and get some free agents, I think we can like compensate maybe busts from the draft. And this is like a weak point, in my opinion, of the managing right now.
You know what? You have a good point there. My father-in-law and I always talk about that. You know, if the guys are not doing their job, get them out of there. But I'm like, yeah, but the problem is right now, I mean, who do you put in there?
Yeah.
I mean, and I get it. I get throw somebody else and see if it sticks. But, you know, I think we've seen that the Steelers have tried. Artie really is not the starter in the base defense anymore. They've tried Cam Sutton a little bit on the outside. They've tried Cody. Cody's not the answer either. So I agree with you. I think I would love, if the Rooneys did anything different, I would love for them to somehow seek free agents more aggressively. I know our philosophy is to build via draft, but it hurts sometimes when you hear Colbert say, well, there's not a strong class in this position and that position. Well, that's the time. Go get a free agent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I mean, if we look at the play where Artie got completely burned of this little out route, and so, I mean, like even the linebacker played better coverage there. I mean, God in hell, this was a horrible play. But we have also got to look on the upside. I mean, we won against Atlanta. We won now against Cincy. So I think we're pretty well equipped right now. And let's see where our team can go. And on the Le'Veon Bell situation, I think we got ourselves a huge mess right now. I mean, we're having like a James Conner, who's definitely starter in my opinion. Then we are having a Le'Veon Bell, but trading him, well, for what right now? And like let him sit out for the rest of the season. We ain't getting anything out of him. So I think this is like now the worst outcome of this whole situation, because like we are having a good starter in James Conner, but like what are we doing with Le'Veon Bell? And I wouldn't start him. I mean, he might be this little cancer. I mean, it sounds a little bit harsh, but he maybe distract also like the guys. I don't know what they're talking in the locker room and so on. But I mean, the whole offense and the whole O-line isn't behind him. So they don't have his back right now. And I think this maybe hurt us on the field.
Yeah.
So I would sit out Le'Veon Bell for sure. Maybe just bring him on if Connor gets hurt for some odd reason. Don't know why, but I mean, this guy right now is playing a heck of a season. I mean, like a top 3 running back in the yards, if I remember correctly. We got ourselves a really, really good running back, and I think he can replace Le'Veon Bell pretty good. Of course, like Connor isn't like right now the Le'Veon Bell. I mean, he doesn't have the experience and so on, but he's decent. He's also like this raw thing. But Le'Veon Bell, it's like how Kenyon said, we could have traded him, but like some weeks ago you didn't know what was happening, like, or what would happening. So I think we played it conservative right there, and I think the bill is right now, well, we ain't got anything, despite a really good James Conner. But this would have happened either way. So I think this is like a little mess up right there with Le'Veon Bell, and I don't know. It's like also really, really sad how this played out. I mean, Le'Veon Bell was also like a fan hero a little bit, like AB and Big Ben. They were like, I mean, the 3 Bs. Well, we all love them, and then like everything is going downhill so much, and I don't know. I really think it's a shame. I mean, like also Le'Veon didn't play it out really smartly, to be honest, but
yeah, I think it's gonna cost him, man. I really do.
Yeah.
I think he made a mistake, but yeah, that's it, man.
This may cost him his whole career, to be honest. And well, he said, well, I don't care if I don't get a contract I want. I'm going to retire. But still, I mean, that's a little bit like the Megatron thing. He could have, like Calvin Johnson, could have played several more years, but he like retired a little bit earlier than like many people. So like his legacy is like not as big as like, let's say, Jerry Rice or so. So I think the same will go for Le'Veon Bell, but just with him retiring way prematurely in his career right now. And I mean, if I would be like a GM from another team and I would look at Le'Veon Bell like acting now, I mean, I wouldn't take him for anything. Like, and then I would have to pay him like, I don't know, 40 million a year for sure, or 15. I don't know what he wanted, but like way too much. So I don't think that we get like Le'Veon Bell traded for anything right now. And this is like a real bad situation. But we're really lucky to have James Conner, and that the whole season will hopefully play out well for our running core, you can say.
I hope so, man. Well, we definitely appreciate you calling all the way from Germany. Let's give him a round of applause, guys. Definitely appreciate you calling, man, and you're welcome anytime. I thank you and Still Gunplay for coming on. I think Kenyon is going to come on for a moment, and then we'll get out of here. And I just want to keep extending the invitation. I mean, of course, guys, you know, I'm letting you guys, you know, talk for a lot longer now, but I would love to get it to a point where it's rapid, where we have multiple people calling, and it's, you know, we can be more, all right, give you a couple minutes, boom, 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 go to the next one. But, you know, some of you guys seem to be shy. I mean, y'all don't want to call in, so there you have it. But again, let's thank our good brother there over in Germany. appreciate that, man. Long time, far away. I guess a long time on a flight, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Steelers fans are everywhere. So definitely appreciate that. But anyway, guys, we're about to get Kenyon on. We'll let Kenyon do his thing for a few moments, and then we'll be done. But I actually agree with Cool Fresh, man. I do agree that I don't know what I would do with Le'Veon when he comes in. I don't know. I just don't know. And I really think that he's not going to come in before the trade deadline. It's just my gut feeling, so we'll see. But we're going to let Kenyon wrap us up, man. Let me give him a call really, really quick. And that will do it for this particular show. Kenyon, my brother, what's going on, brother?
Man, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. We happy. We happy now. Last couple weeks, we feel good.
You happy?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm almost happy. I'm like
excited. Right. You pumped up?
Still a little scared though, man. I'm still a little scared. We still got some passing quarterbacks to deal with coming up, but I don't know. We might can make a little mini run if the defense can hold it together.
Yeah, it's I was, a lot of people talk about our defense and our issues. We always talk about our issues on defense, but the reality of the situation is that nobody can play defense right now in the NFL. Nobody.
That's true.
Look at
the Jags.
The Jags got carved up 2 weeks in a row. Denver's been getting carved up. And it's really just it's the advent of the rules also. So the rules, add to this. You can't touch quarterbacks. The Kansas City linebacker had Tom Brady and thought he was going to get a penalty and let him go.
Man,
it's like
terrible.
That's the NFL now. You know what I mean? And then I think Troy Vincent said something today which was almost like utterly like it was almost like trying to make us look like we were stupid. We were saying, well, I saw a guy go for the quarterback. He thought the quarterback threw the ball and he let him go. It was like, dude, we're not stupid. We can see the video. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you can see everything that's going on in the NFL right now. So it's an interesting thing. It's an interesting time right now. But, our defense played well. I mean, our defense is not going to be great. They just got to get stops.
Right.
That's it.
That's it.
They're not supposed to be great. Look, if you look at the personnel, we don't have a number one cornerback. Hayden is past his prime. I'm not talking about Artie Burns no more with you ever again.
Yeah. That ship has sailed, right?
Yeah, I'm done. Cam Sutton, he's not really a number one to me. He's kind of like he's more of like a slot corner, but the problem is that Hilton is better at slot than he is. So
Facts.
So it's kind of like So they have depth, but it's not depth at the starting cornerback position, like true number ones. And like I was telling people in the chat, I was like, I saw our two cornerbacks that could immediately walk in and start from Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? And that'll be Georgia quarterback and LSU quarterback. Problem is, we're not going to lose that many games to be able to get them. So
that's the dilemma.
So in the reality of the situation, he's already got picked before he should have got picked. He was projected as a second round pick. He probably should have went maybe in the third. Yeah. Because if you look at his flaws, it's really it's kind of like a combination of things. It's like it's IQ and play recognition. Like you play Madden. So if you're on Madden and you went to his play recognition, you would decrease it. You would decrease all that stuff because he's getting beat on like he's getting beat on patterns that you shouldn't get beat on. You know what I mean? Like that's just common knowledge stuff. You know what I mean? But he's so in his head that it's already over. It's a wrap. So
you know what? Real quick, and I know you listen to it from time to time as well. Dave Bryant on Terrible Podcast made a great point where they were saying, remember that play when he held Erickson and he got the holding call?
Yeah.
They were saying he had great cover. He was in great position, and he was like, anytime a corner is holding when he is in a good position, like he's playing good defense, is in his head.
Yeah. If you look at the play, and you have the all-22, but if you look at that play, the first part of the play, he played it well. He played it great. It was just like he never turned his head around, and he didn't let go. Like, so when you watch the last part of the play when they called the flag, it's like, yeah, you could be mad that they called it, but it was a penalty. You know what I mean? Because he essentially held him throughout the route. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like he's so far gone from where it's almost like I think when he's on the sidelines, he's like petrified to go in now, because if he goes in, he makes a mistake, he knows he's coming out. You know what I mean? It's like it's automatic. You know what I mean? So he's already in his head. So to me, it's like I thought he was done last year. I mean, I remember you was still trying to give him hope. I thought he was done.
I tried, man.
Every time we hear like, yo, he's in practice, he's covering Antonio Brown, I'm like, yeah, I would like to be at those practices, because if I was at that practice, I'm pretty sure Antonio Brown is burning him 95% of the time. Like seriously. So it's kind of like it's one of those things where you say he's not a number one. They have to draft a number one. I don't know if they're going to be able to draft a number one unless they get an extra pick. If they can swing a trade to get Le'Veon out of there, and because I'm not like a big fan of him coming back, because my thing is that he's not going to be there for the reasons you want him to be there. And exactly to make my point, the Ohio State defensive end that's supposed to go number one just checked out of school. See, that's what the NFL is going that way. You can see it.
Yeah, I saw that. Bosa, right?
Yep, he's working out. Now think about that. So they're not there for the team. You know what I mean? They're there to get the check. You know what I mean? So, and in Le'Veon's case, I know people say, well, bring him back. I'm like, for what? It's like, I mean, we've never won anything with him. What have we won? That's my point. That's the argument I always make. What have we won? You know what I mean? It's just like the argument with your first caller. I respect his opinion about Mike Tomlin should go. It's like, man, if you compare Mike Tomlin's record to Bill Cowher's record, Bill Cowher should have been fired. If we're going by that, because Bill Cowher didn't win to the end of his career. They missed the playoffs like 3 years in a row. They lost 4 or 5 AFC Championship games at home, at the house.
Yeah.
It's like, are you serious? So it's kind of like, Mike Tomlin, his issues is that he has bad play call management in certain situations. Like, he shouldn't go for these trying to, overturn calls when it's kind of obvious he didn't get, on certain plays. And then it messed him up on the one play where he really could have got, a call go his way, because Connor, they probably would have called that in, you know what I mean? Because it was a touchdown. So it's an interesting dilemma that they have. So I don't have any problems with Mike Tomlin. My issue is that you got to blame the players sometimes. I mean, we do have knuckleheads on our team. You know what I mean? It's not, don't act like everybody's like choir boys. Ben Roethlisberger's a knucklehead, technically. You know what I mean? He was doing stupid stuff his first 2 years. So.
Oh, boy, people forget that, man.
They forget that. It's like something like you forget it. It's like.
Let's not forget why Ben, and listen, I love Ben, but I got to keep it real. Let's not forget why Ben hopped up and got married so quick. Y'all remember that? Exactly. It was a reason for that, if you guys have gotten amnesia. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Exactly. Image. You know what I mean? It's like, he had all that. Remember, he used to run around those little golf tournaments with Trump. Remember that back in the day? He was going to those little Trump golf tournaments back in the day. So
yeah, he was grabbing them by the.
yeah. So
let me stop.
It's an interesting thing. It's an interesting. And then another thing, like you always say. See, I don't think our window is. People are looking at the window different than I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it like you drafted 2 quarterbacks. You'll eventually have to move on from Ben. The difference between Ben and like Eli's offensive line has petrified him so much that he's shot. You know what I mean? You can see it when he throws. You know what I mean? Throwing it into the dirt and all that stuff. Ben, if they protect him, he can play 3 more years.
Right.
If they protect him like that. You know what I'm saying? And another thing we have to do, we have to get another O-lineman in this draft. Have to. You just have to. I mean, that's the strength of the squads. They need to build that up. You know what I mean? Because I've been disappointed in some of the play of, Hayward this year. He played well last game. They played well last game, but not the whole year. They haven't played that way the whole year. So it's kind of like, if they keep improving, it'll be okay. But it's a very interesting thing. It's a very interesting thing to watch this team, because I think we haven't seen the best, but we may not have seen the worst, and that's the scary part.
Ooh, speak on it.
That is the scary part.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, man. It's crazy. That's the thing that scares you, man. It's like I said, it makes me, the Jacksonville game in the playoffs last year was more of a gut punch. But
yeah,
this team, to me, I feel like this time it will be more like the AFC Championship a couple years ago, where the team look like they doing better, and they get to a team like New England and get completely shredded.
Well,
just like you said, we might not have seen the worst yet. I'm scared, man. Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers,
Mahomes again.
Oh man, I'm scared.
Phillip Rivers. We still got to play Chargers. Phillip Rivers. Let me tell you something. Phillip Rivers will torch our DBs. Yep. I'm telling you right now, he will torch our DBs. The problem with San Diego is that they never had a defense, and like they're scared. That's the scary team to me, because if their defense plays well, they can go really far. So it's an interesting dynamic when you look at it. I think those teams, like you said with the Patriots. Here's the thing, we have the Bengals number. Like when the Bengals scored the other day, I'm pretty sure you was at the house. You and Leonard, y'all sitting there. Oh man, they scored, man. We have to lose. I was sitting there going, we have to win the game.
I told him.
I was like, it's minute 18 left, man. It's like the Bengals case, they always find a way to let us win the game.
I thought it was going to be Boswell. Right. He'll tell you. I told him before it happened, when we kicked the ball back to them, I said, you know what's about to happen, right? The Bengals are going to score, and then we're going to drive back down the field, and Boswell's going to kick the field goal.
Yep, that was my first thought. And then when they got the 23-yard gain, I said, oh, you know what? They might score. And then when they went to the cover zero, and I think I mentioned it Sunday. I was like, when I saw him go when they went cover zero and Ben recognized it, I said, oh, he's about to throw like a quick slant to Antonio Brown, and there's no safety. He's about to be gone. And it just happened. I was like, he saw it. It was like, and you saw how the Bengals, how Burfict reacted. Why are you calling cover zero?
Oh yeah, that was classic, man.
they were trying to blitz Ben the whole game. They never touched him the whole game. So that told you they couldn't get to him. So in my mind, I'm thinking, they could have the Steelers could score in whenever they want to. We were shooting ourselves in the foot. It wasn't them doing anything to us. It was us. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like, and we made two bad mistakes. Like into the first half, our special teams played really bad. Really bad. You know what I mean?
Returns, man. 2 returns for 50 yards.
They doubled it up, though. They did it at the end of the first, and then they did the beginning of the second. Like the first kickoff. I'm like, so you didn't learn for the first time? So it was just like, it was an interesting game, but I never had a fear. But when it comes to the Patriots, they got our number. And the prime example I always use is the Patriots just played Kansas City. They were down. And who did Tom Brady throw the ball to 3 times?
Yep.
Did that game look eerily similar to a game we played against them last year?
It looked like 2 games. You remember that game when what's his name? When Landry started at Heinz Field? Yeah. And we held Brady to like 222, but who was the one who got us late? Big Gronkowski.
It's like there's no matchup. I was like, there's no matchup for him. Now I do like Vance starting to look like that, where you throw it to him and he's just breaking tackles. Like he's looking like, Mark Bavaro 2.0. You know what I mean? And that's a scary. If he can stay healthy, my problem with him, he's always hurt. Right. So if he stayed healthy, oh man. And I believe he should have got the ball more. He could have really did way more damage. Ben is just throwing to everybody right now. He's kind of like he doesn't have a favorite. He's just throwing it to different people to get the whole offense moving. And I like that play calling from Fichtner better. You know what I mean? Where it's not like it's a big 3, they have to get it. You know what I mean? It's like it's a big 3 that's emerging. Antonio Brown's not going to get the same receptions he got last time. It's going to be different. You know what I mean? He may have less receptions, but on those big plays, Ben will look for him. And I like that.
Yeah, man, I'm really loving Juju.
Oh,
that kid is a baller.
What did I tell you?
Baller.
What did I tell you?
He was absolutely right. And that's why I can't beat him up too much when he dropped one, man, because, he more than made up for it later in that game.
Yeah. I mean, the Moss play, we mossed him was that was just you can't teach that, you know what I mean? And then I think his growth. I think Antonio Brown doesn't see it, but his growth is really going to help Antonio Brown. If you really think about it, they're trying to still double Antonio, and Juju is eating. You know what I mean? So eventually they're going to be like, you know what, we just got to play him straight up. And then that really opens the offense up. And if James Conner still plays the way he's playing, hey. And then, if Le'Veon Bell comes back and they decide to use him, you can have a 2-headed monster. I mean, you can have sets where you have Le'Veon in the pattern, James Conner in the backfield. You can make that offense kind of crazy. You know what I mean? It's just that. But my thing is, I just don't know if Le'Veon's head is in it, and that's where I'm at with him. So,
because we haven't seen that set. They said that in what do they call it? The pony set, I think. They said they saw some of that in training camp with 2 backs. So I would love something like that, man. But like you said, I'm so scared about Le'Veon Bell, the chemistry, the reaction from the the players. I'm nervous, man. I don't know.
And with him not coming in, you know what I mean, it's still kind of delaying it, you know what I mean, or it's reporting. It's like all that stuff is like if I'm in the locker room, it's like, okay, handle your business, but at some point it's like, come on, man. You know what I mean? It's like I think they've moved on personally. Like they're not even thinking about it. And then if he shows up, he shows up. But as I was telling somebody, I said he just wants to come there to get that for week 10 to get that that accrued year, so he doesn't have to really play. He has to play for his value, but like Dave Bryant said, like you said on Terrible Podcast, they said he hurt his value. He just doesn't know it. He hurt his value by not playing, and he's not getting $15 million on the market. And if you look at the deal that they gave him, now that the deal has kind of come out, what they really gave him, how do you turn that deal down? Like, so that really told me at that moment, okay, he's trying to break the bank. And then people say, well, you should pay him. Well, you should pay him, then you don't have a football team. So you think that the Steelers are not a big market franchise. And you can't look at the Rams as your model because the Rams are playing in Los Angeles. 2 different markets. So the Steelers are going to do what they do. They're not switching. 6 Super Bowl championships tells them, I'm not switching anything. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Le'Veon Bell, he'll get his money, and I'll wish him well. Just, they should just, like I said, they should send him to like the NFC so they don't have to see him once every 4 years.
Exactly. Well, 2 questions for you, man, before I get out of here, man. I'm about to pass out from skipping dinner.
Yeah.
One, are you concerned at all with James Washington? Because I think some people are unfairly criticizing him, expecting another Juju situation. Are you have any concerns right now, or do you just think it's normal, growing pains?
I think it's normal growing pains, and to try to compare it to the Juju situation would not be correct because when Juju came, it was Martavis. It was kind of like they had 4 receivers. Remember, because I think Eli was healthy, right? So Eli was healthy. So it was Eli, Martavis, Juju, AB. Mm-hmm. And Juju didn't really have to make big plays. He kind of just emerged, you know what I mean? Whereas James Washington in this situation is in a different situation where he's still having the issue to get off the ball. I've said this before. I think he's kind of a tweener. So when you look at his tape, he's a tweener. So he can make combat catches, but he's not super duper fast. So for him, maybe his development may be longer. You might see Juju, and you might see Washington develop as the year progresses. Like he might make an impact like in the last 8 games or something like that, or maybe it may be next year. So my concern for him is not like that big. I think he'll emerge. He'll make a play, and he does make plays. He's just not. He's not as explosive as Juju. But I said it before. Juju is different. He's 6'1", 220. 6'2", 220. He's like a beast. James Washington is like he's 6 feet. He's 6 feet, but he's not. He's physical, but he's not like Juju.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Juju different. You know what I mean? So that I'm not concerned about that one. And what would be your second question?
The last one would be. I already know where you're going with it, but I want everybody else to hear it, and Mike goes somewhere different with it. Is it any chance, and if it is a chance, what is it going to take for the Steelers to trade for Patrick Peterson?
Oh my God. I said this earlier, man. Like, what this Patrick Peterson stuff, man? It's like y'all killing me with this. Look, the Steelers cannot trade for Patrick Peterson if Arizona wants a certain price. They're not going to trade for Le'Veon because they have a stud running back. So that deal will not happen.
Right.
To trade for Patrick Peterson now doesn't make any sense. I understand what you said earlier when you said sometimes you wish they would go out in free agency and do whatever and make big splashes. But you have to look at it 2 ways. From their perspective, they feel like they can get guys who are past prime or people who have given up on and take them. Henceforth, you get somebody like our punt returner now. Remember, Raiders gave up on him. Dallas gave up on him. So that's my point. So you get those dudes, and then they like to draft their dudes and groom them, which is what they did with Artie. The problem is that when Artie fails or the cornerbacks fail, then the hole becomes bigger than what it was. So they like to mask a lot of stuff they do. It's the same thing the Patriots do, but people don't say anything about the Patriots because the Patriots keep winning. And Bill Belichick is a greater defensive mind than Keith Butler. They're on two different levels. Keith Butler is a good defensive coordinator, and I'm saying good because I'm being nice because we won this week. And Bill Belichick is a genius. He's on a different level defensively. You know what I mean? So it's to try to get these wish picks or these wish trades. It's like, yo, let's trade for Josh Norman. Let's trade for Patrick Peterson. It's like, dude, it's not gonna happen. So you might as well just. They traded for Joe Hayden, and to me, that was a surprise. And the only reason they picked him up is because Cleveland cut him. So that tells you they're not gonna go. They're not gonna go out and get anybody big. They're gonna try to draft their dude because they want people there in their system to grow within the system. You know what I mean? And I think their addressed needs, like you said, will change this year. Like when we talk about the draft next year, it's gonna be two different things. We either gonna talk about cornerback, linebacker, and offensive line, and maybe a running back. To me, that's the draft. So it's pretty much that simple. That's how I feel about it. I just don't the Patrick Peterson stuff. I can't go there, man. I can't, Sim. I can't.
Yeah, I don't see it. I mean, it would be great. I don't see it. Like you said, man. I mean, you kind of echoed it. The value makes no sense for the Cardinals to trade for Peterson. Bell. That makes no sense for them to do that.
None.
And a team is just they're not even guaranteed that they're gonna re-sign him. And I mean, I could see possibly the Eagles doing it because the Eagles are in a situation where somebody like Le'Veon Bell makes their offense, way more potent. But I don't know. I think it's gonna be hard. But again, just to respond to what Kenyon said, what we always should remember is the Steelers. The best example is we are a James Ferrier free agency team. Just think about that. That's the Pittsburgh Steelers. They get guys like that who ball out and become studs in Pittsburgh. And there you have it. Even Joe Hayden. Let's be honest. Joe Hayden was on the tail end in Cleveland. And I don't know if it's because, he was a little injured. But he's back to playing relatively decent, way past his prime. But that's probably the best stretch you're going to get from the Steelers. I don't see it unless Art Rooney, not Art. Well, yeah, Art the second. Unless he wakes up one day and says, you know what, we're going to try something different. Other than that, I just don't. That big Art didn't do it. Dan didn't do it.
Yep. Remember,
I don't know.
Remember, original Art is still mad at his younger sons for not picking Dan Marino back in the day. Think about that. So that should tell you everything you need to know about Pittsburgh.
There you go, man. Well, man, great show. We've been on for, good Lord, hour and 18 minutes. This might be our longest one, guys. But Kenyon, of course, man, I appreciate you coming on. I definitely want to get a show going. Maybe next week if y'all can do it. I want to get you and Tony on at the same time. Right. And I think that'll be a great conversation. But yeah, my brother, I appreciate you, man. And, we'll definitely catch you next week. And to everybody else, appreciate the love. I just appreciate it. There's nothing much more I can say about that. You guys come through every week. We have a good time here. Just do me the favor of hitting the like button if you like it. You're welcome to hit the dislike button if you don't like it. I like the real. And also, share the stream, man. If you have anybody else you want to come participate, share the stream. Let them know we have a good time over here as just regular Steeler fans talking some Steeler football. Positivity. We don't deal with a lot of negative stuff, and we just share opinions. But also, man, don't forget, again, you could be Kenyon. You could be Steel Gunplay. You could be Tony. You could be Multi-Fresh. Please call. I want this show to be more of a call in, ask Sim or let's talk type of show. I would love that. We might even get it to a point where we just basically, it's like a panel. Every week we got 3 or 4 of us going back and forth That would be great. I want to do a lot of things like that with this particular show. I want it to be different than your normal, you know what I mean? Yeah, I want it to be more of a, not a debate, but just a discussion show instead of y'all just looking at this talking head. You know what I'm saying? So don't be shy, man. Call in. You know, I don't even put you guys on camera. I could if y'all wanted to do that, but call in. Don't be shy. And Debbie, I haven't forgot about you. We definitely want to hear the female perspective because you always in here giving us good information. So when you get your Skype set up, let's do it. But outside of that, guys, Kenyon closed us out with great information. I've always been a fan of Kenyon, man, since he, started following the Terrible Towel Tuesdays. So always great information. So I appreciate that and all of you guys who came in tonight. But outside of that, I gotta go. I'm worn out. Me and my wife hit the gym for an hour. Gotta go eat some dinner. But it's always love when we're talking about Steelers. So we'll be back, guys. We won't have a post-game show this week, obviously, but we'll be back next Tuesday. And we'll talk about the upcoming opponents. And hopefully, we can get a panel discussion going on that particular show. But that's a wrap for tonight. Let's get a Here We Go Steelers. And I thank you guys for tuning in to Terrible Towel Tuesday. Peace.